So, welcome to this session of tutorials. Today I'm going to be dealing with Fruity Loops and how I manage 808s on Fruity Loops. So basically, there are two ways I work with 808s. And if you don't know, 808s are the sounds, the drum sounds that have this deep characteristics, like this one. Hold on. So like this. Let's see. Basically, right? So here I could just drag any of the ones I like, paste it here, check the features, how it sounds, the texture. So what you can do here when you open it, that's just by clicking on it, you can trim the length, you can reduce the in, or you can reduce the out. So it depends on what you want to achieve. Basically, everyone has their own taste, their own vibe. So some people like it very grungy, and some people like it just sharp. Get. And secondly, I advise that you play your 808s with your MIDI keyboard, unless you're trying to achieve like the regular trap sound like, so you can use your drum pad, get it going, bump bump. But if you're trying to interchange keys properly, like on free flow, I advise you to use your MIDI keyboard, because it maps the keys, the notes of the sound properly compared to the drum pad. So basically, this time I'll be using a synthesizer, an 808 synthesizer. So the 808 synthesizer, I like it because it has a very good variety of sound for me, right? So no matter how I fuck around with it, it usually like makes sense for me, right? So I have a pattern here. So first of all, you have to play and record your pattern. So you go to piano roll, and you could still use this trick in any DAW. It doesn't have to be Fruity Loops, but it's just my own concept of working with 808 based on what I've learned. So I have this pattern, right? I'll play it so you hear. So let's listen to our 808 and see how it sounds. So I'll put this on solo so you can hear it. This is how I want it to sound in this context, because what I do normally, I relate it to other sounds, right? So this is my kick is on channel 1. So most times I like my kick and my 808 to almost be in close volume range, right? You can see the 808 here is doing okay, it's noticeable, but it's not as loud as the kick, because I want the kick to be the overall limit for my volumes on my instrument, right? So it's just one of those things you take note. Mixing is all about balancing volumes and texture. That's mixing. Like there's no one way to it, but there are so many tricks you can do. So that being said, let's go to my mixer. So you can see on my mixer I have three things. I have my parametric EQ, I have my limiter, and I have my compressor. So first of all, why do I use, let me turn up everything off. You can hear how it sounds. It sounds very, very grungy. People might like that, but I feel like most times there's always frequencies you can take off, right? So I turn on my EQ. Can you hear the difference? It's more silent, it's more distinct. So that's because I took off the highs. You don't really need your highs in this situation, because like the highs are just, they're just there. You don't really need your highs if you check it, because it's a deep sound. So if I release the highs, can you hear? But let's take it out for a bit. You can hear it's more distinct on the bass side. Same thing with here. I just decided to up this a bit to give more frequency on that range. So frequencies are something that you need to learn on a separate tutorial, because every sound has its own frequency range where it dominates. So you can't EQ like a clap sound or a snare sound the same way you EQ a bass sound and 808 sound. So that's what I'm taking. All right. So here, so you can see I have that done. The 808 frequency is set. So now the next thing I want to do is limit it. Why do I limit? So limiters work like a control, basically like a volume or velocity control. So when you limit a sound, most times the fluctuations of volume kind of affect the overall sound, right? So it could either make it sound like some parts are too low, some parts are too high. But I feel like most times when I drop a limiter, it kind of gives it that full feeling all at once. Like it makes sure that no part of the notes is lagging behind and no part is going way above. So let's hear the difference. Can you hear the difference? That's exactly it. So basically what's happening is that the limiter makes it distinct compared to, see, makes it stand. Then the last thing I want to do is compress. So these things I just picked it up from randomly. You could just click here and select a limiter. You have a delay, you have your limiter, you have your compressor. These are all default Fruity Loops plugins. So the compressor, I want to turn on my compressor. So compressors make the sound more distinct, like more dynamic, like it makes it more solid. So limiter adjusts the volume while the compressor makes it solid. So you can actually increase the gain here if you want. So if you want to come out more, but it's still compressed, so it's, and with the limiter it makes it full. So with this you're good to go with your 808. You can hear the kick is going on its own and the 808 isn't distorted. So now we can introduce So I'll be turning off and turning on the 808 so you can hear the difference when it's on and when it's not. So it's not on now. It's coming on. So I hope you enjoyed these tutorials. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Exposed channel. Drop your comments, ask questions. Nobody knows it all. I'm still learning, and I'm showing what I've learned. So just drop a comment and let's go. Bless.